Hey guys, this is Dr. Cohn in the North Dallas area. I wanted to talk for a minute about health problems that seem to pop up all of a sudden. It could be pains, it could be fatigue, it could be stomach problems, it could be skin problems, it could be almost anything that you want. But I wanted to, for the purpose of this conversation, I wanted to talk about stuff that doesn't seem to have a real cause. So that would mean my knee hurts, but I wasn't kicked by a horse. Or there's no obvious reason for my back pain. I didn't fall down. There wasn't a car accident. I was just having normal life, and then my back starts killing me. Or I start to get sciatica for no obvious reason. Or I never had headaches, and then all of a sudden I'm having headaches. Those type of things I want to talk about. And it could be across the spectrum of almost any type of health problem that you can imagine. And I wanted to say that in my experience, the number one thing that happens when you're going along just fine in life, normal, and then at some point you crash. That point where you crash was usually the point where you had an exposure to an infection that got a hold of you. And those infections are usually low-grade ones. And they're usually, because they're low grade, they don't trigger you to feel like you're obviously sick. So if you're obviously sick, like you have diarrhea, you have a fever, maybe you're throwing up, you feel sick. So you'll go get care for being sick until you're not sick. So, but if the symptoms of this low grade infection is that you're just tired, it doesn't trigger alarm bells that you're sick. Or if you just start to say, hey, you know what, my joints are getting achy, and no other symptoms, that does not trigger the alarm bells that you have an infection and that you're sick on some level. Or if you say, you know what, I'm just getting really depressed for no obvious reason and my mood is terrible, or I'm starting to get headaches, that doesn't usually trigger any alarm bells for people feeling like, oh, I'm sick. I need to go get some medicine to clear out a bug that's bothering me. But nonetheless, there's a lot of low-grade infections that people have. Generally, they like to hang out in the intestines, in the stomach, in the small intestines, large intestines. That's where they like to live. Now, some infections don't trigger diarrhea. Some infections don't trigger you to have an obvious fever, but they exist. And they produce chemicals. They produce chemicals just as a byproduct of their being alive. And they love it because they live in you. And they're like, thanks for giving me a house to live in. And let's just, steal a little bit of your food and we'll just live here. But they produce chemicals. They produce these toxins. The toxins get absorbed into your body and these toxins go around and you feel, well, I feel really tired. Or I feel achy. Or I feel fatigued. Or, man, my knees are really hurting. And almost anything that you can think of could be coming from a infection if there was kind of a sudden onset, like no obvious reason, and I just started feeling bad kind of on this day, boom, and I started feeling just really kind of off, and I've been to several doctors and they can't figure out what's going on. I would bet there's a really huge chance, 90%, that there's a hidden infection that caused a crash in your health, caused some pain to start, caused some fatigue to start, caused some troubles to start where you just didn't feel like you're at yourself with no obvious reason. The sudden onset and no obvious reason, most of the time it's a hidden infection that got a hold of you. And standard testing will often miss these infections. So it doesn't really get handled. So people are frustrated and they end up at my office and we track down what's going on and we try to help their immune system kick this out. So the results are really good when you identify what's the cause of your problems. If you have back pain, I don't want to work on your back pain. I don't want to give you painkillers. What I want to do is I want to find out what's causing your back pain. A lot of times back pain with no obvious reason for it is an infection. So we've got to do some support for your immune system. And then back pain fades away the same way it came. Just kind of fades away. So I hope you find this interesting. If you find this valuable, please give me a thumbs up on the video and share it with some people. Subscribe if you want to be alerted when I put out more videos. I'm going to be putting out more pertinent topics regularly, so do a subscribe if you're interested in getting notifications when I put out more of these videos. I'll see you on the next one. If y'all want to make a comment about what videos you'd like to see, that would be helpful for me, and I'll try to talk on pertinent topics, questions that people have. See you on another video.